Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel and thank you so much for joining me. I'm here to work on I think it's going to be a journal card. So yeah, I am just, let's see, by the time you see this video, I don't know if I will have done a flip through of this my bloom journal here, but I'm going to guess maybe I will have, and I will maybe have already had it put in my shop and things like that. But so you might see this video after this is all done, but I'm thinking that this is going to go in here, right? Ephemera, journal card, whatever it ends up being. If it ends up being the tag, I'll post it on a Tag Tuesday, but I think it's going to be a journal card. So what I have planned, I have this, I got this in the mail, I think. Let's see, does it have a date on it? Oh no, I got this in Ephemera. Maybe this was an Ephemera I got from, this is 1997 here. So maybe it was an Ephemera I got from my kids. I'm not sure. But I put it to the side with some other little garden type garden book pages. And I was flipping through it as I was finishing up this journal, trying to see if I could use this. And I opened it up and I saw this pretty rose here. But it was black and white. Can you see that? So it was black and white. I thought it was pretty black and white, but I kind of wanted to try coloring it. And this is a purple flower. You know, I know it's not a rose, but it's a purple flower. And it's, you know, real pretty colors on the front of this. And this is a little sparkly. Can you see that? It's got some sparkles in it. Anyway, I didn't point that out before. So I opened that up. And I thought, I really love that. I'd like to do something with it. So I decided to paint it purple, like the purple flower on the front of that journal, since it's going to go into this journal. And I was going to show you what I used. I have some of these paintbrush, you know, they're paint pens, I guess. This says real brush pen, but they each have a different color. You know, you get a bunch in a package, and this is by Shuttle Art. And this is the purple one. They look like a little paintbrush tip on the end. I'm sure you all have seen, most everybody has seen those, and I don't use them. I've hardly used them at all, but it still works. I've had them for a couple years. But I wanted to try it on here, and so I did. I did paint it like I wasn't trying to get paint all over, like the white part, you know, it's kind of an outlined, black outlined flower, and it had this, you know, this color of paper behind it, you know, in between the black lines. So I wasn't trying to totally cover that up because I thought it would look kind of like I was coloring it, and I didn't want to look like I was coloring it. I wanted to look like it was this way, maybe from the beginning, like you wouldn't really know, did I paint it or not, you know? So that was my idea behind how I painted it. So now I'm going to, I want to cut it out and back it with some cardstock. I have a blue file folder here. I'm thinking of using this because I don't have too many colored folders, but I have this one. I thought, you know, something different. Have some of those, and I haven't really used them. Let me move this out of my way for a second so I can have a flat surface to tear this. First, I'm going to tear it right. It has you know, it's an article here on Romancing the Rose, a little garden brochure here, pamphlet that I don't know where I got it, but you know, I think it was in my garden book. That's where it was. Now that I think about it, that's why it was with those. I have some garden book pages that I pulled out that I want to try to use somewhere. And this little booklet or pamphlet was in that garden book. That's where it was, yeah. And then so I put it in here, put it right over there so I could remember to use it. So yeah, I'm going to tear this little piece out. And I need to, before I put it on cardstock, I need to figure out how big I want it because I want to keep as much of it as possible. But I need it to fit inside of a pocket, I think, unless I totally change my mind. So we'll see what happens here. But I think it's really pretty. So, yeah, let me see. Now that I've got it this width, let me open up the journal, find a pocket. I think it's still going to be too wide, but let's see here. So just pretend, just pretend like I would want to put it. Let me fold it up here so I can say it could be this size or maybe a little longer, but just for example, if it was about this wide, I really want to get the width down. Would it fit inside this little pocket here? See, it's a little it would fit right there. Okay, it would kind of fit there. Let's see. Let me see my other pockets real quick. Yeah, it would fit there, wouldn't it? So I could make a big journaling card, couldn't I? Yeah. All right. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to do it. See what happens. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? I have to use it later on a page. If I couldn't use it in that journal, I could put it on a page or in another journal that might have a little bit bigger pocket or whatever. I could clip it, paper clip it on a page. I wouldn't actually have to put it in a pocket. So let's see, how long do I want it? So if I put it about, I don't want it huge, but maybe about right here, So let's tear this off, and then we'll back it with some. So it'll be a nice big journaling card, I guess. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to end up being. And whoops, my ruler moved there. Let me hold that down a little tighter. Yeah, a nice big journaling card with plenty of writing space on the back. Why aren't you tearing? Okay, there it goes. I just don't want to tear it in the wrong way. I guess I'm being careful. Okay, so there we go. There's a little piece I want to snip off here. Let's see, where's my scissors? I just had them right here. So here we go. And so we're going to glue this down on some of this file folder. So I just wanted to show you that it's it's a file folder that so we don't use this size of, hanging file in our office, except for in our desk drawers we have a place, but like in our file cabinets, our legal size hanging file folders. I don't know if I can cut both of those at one time. Let me do this. Let me cut the fold here. Yeah, so even though this is still really could have been reused at the office, we don't use these at the office, except for in our drawer. We have one drawer, myself and my coworker. We both have a drawer in our desk where we can, you can put hanging. And a lot of desks have that, where you have a little place you can put hanging files in one of the deep drawers. Yes, but we have more at work, and this was a used one, and so I thought, I think that's something I need to bring home. So I don't have very many, but I have a few of them. So let's see. So yeah, you've got this metal piece here. I'm trying to get around that, see what the easiest way to cut that is and the fastest way to cut it. So maybe like this. I want to cut that off. Yeah, so you've got 2 layers there. So I'm trying actually not to cut through that, just under it too. So it'll be easier to cut too. And I'm trying to cut it in a straight line. All of that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so this I don't need. And then here's what I have to work with. So this is a clean piece. The other one had a mark on it, but I'm using this right now. So we'll just go ahead and go with this. Let's turn it this way. Get my little, in case I get glue off the side here. We'll put this under here. And then we're just going to glue this down. Start by doing that and see where we go. If maybe that'll be it. Maybe it'll just be a simple tag. Or do we need a blue border? Oh, that'll make it wider, a little wider, but that would be pretty, wouldn't it? I think that would be kind of pretty with a little blue border, a little edge like that. Leave a little blue border. I'm going to do that. So you just never know where these things are going to go, right? So I'm going to use some art glitter glue. Glue this all down. It'll be nice and sturdy. This is, I would describe this as a thick, if you have different file folders are usually about the same thickness, but I think the ones from Dollar Tree are a little thinner. Actually, I want to try, I've never bought any from, or had any of the file folders from Dollar Tree because I have so many from my office. I've never had to buy any, but I actually might buy a package of those and see how they coffee dye. And recently, I had a customer buy some. I sell coffee dyed file folders in my shop, and I have one set left. And I thought, and when she said something that reminded me like how hard they are to coffee dye, the thicker ones. I have to coffee dye them like at least twice, probably maybe even 3 times to get the coffee color that I want, because they just don't absorb the coffee really well. So I thought, well, I wonder if the Dollar Tree ones are, if they are thinner, how would they take the coffee dye? Would they actually be easier to coffee dye? You know what I mean? So I thought I would get some and try it. I'm gonna have to remember to do that next time I go to Dollar Tree and grab some of those and, you know, experiment with those, because the ones from my office, they're just like Office Depot brand, or some of them are Smead, you know, the office brand of office supplies, SMEAD, that brand, Smead, and they're pretty, you know, they're pretty thick. I think they're not, you know, overly thick or anything. They're just like thick card, you know, good stock of cardstock. You know what I mean? Not the thinnest of cardstocks, but a good cardstock, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that reminded me of that. I guess we're talking about this cardstock, so that reminded me that. So that looks pretty. We got the blue and the purples and the greens going on here. Let's round our corners here. See what that looks like. I usually like the corners rounded on journal cards. I just think it looks nice. So yeah, this could be just a quick little thing. We can see if we want to make any other tags or journal cards out of this. I mean, I do want to do something with the rest of that little brochure. So we have Spring Hills, Romancing the Rose, and we have a purple rose to match our journal. And then we have this writing space. We could, let's see, where's my distress ink? I have a bunch of stuff pulled out here because I was working on the journal, and then I have a bunch of things to go along with, you know, certain, I wanted to have options for while I was working on this. I wasn't sure where it was going to go, what direction it was going to go in, but let's just do a little bit of inking here on this edge just to make it look not quite so like a new, even though this file folder's been around for probably, let's see, I know where this came from, so I'm trying to think of how long it's been around. I don't think it's vintage, but it's probably been around for 10 years. So in another 10 years it'll be vintage, right? But yeah. So yeah, just kind of take some of that newness off here. And then I want to see if I want to put a word on here at all, because I was thinking, you know, romance the rose. It says romancing the rose, so we could put a word. I did put another word in the journal on one of the pockets that I made with my label maker. So I was thinking, oh, another chance to use my label maker, because like I said during one of the process videos for this journal, I'm trying to use some things that either I haven't used in a while, or, you know, don't use hardly. You know, I need to use them, and I just don't really use them that very much. So, you know, it's fun to get out the stuff that you haven't used for a while and do something with it, right? That's why we have it, to use it. So, all right, so that's the front. I'm trying to see if I need any on the back here. Here's what it looks like on the back. I think did I already show you that? Just blue cardstock basically, but something different than what I usually use, you know, other than the manila file folders. So yeah, it's pretty thick, so almost could be used as a writing board, really, couldn't it? Okay, now I'm thinking, you know what it needs? I have to do this real quick, sorry, a little bit more inking. It needs a little bit where I tore it, this edge right here. It just needs something there, because I think it would look really pretty, like it was, I'm trying to make it look like it was naturally distressed here. Just an old, really old, naturally aged little clipping here from a newspaper or something. Article about gardening. So yeah, that looks really nice. All right, I'm glad it did that. I just thought of it as I finished up with the other distressing. I was like, you know, the edge really needs to look a little more distressed there, the edge of the paper. Okay. All right, that looks nice. I don't know if it'll show up in the camera, but on the edge of the paper there, but I think it looks really nice. Okay, so a word. I was thinking of putting the word love or beauty, something like that. The other word I put in the journal is kindness. So what about beauty, like I said, because it's a rose and it's beautiful. So let's do it. This works really good. Got it at a thrift store. Maybe you saw the Thrifty Thursday where I showed it to you. B-E, and I just got to spell right? B-A-U, B-A-U, T, and where's my Y? Y. Okay, and now I need to cut all the way around here. Chop. There we go. Yep. See how cool that is? I love that little machine. I'm so glad I found one that works, you know what I mean? Because I had bought a previous one that doesn't work, and I do put some glue on the back of these. This is actually tape that I got at a thrift store separately from the previous label maker that I bought in an estate sale that didn't work. I mean, it worked for one time and then it didn't work. I could never get it to work again, no matter what I did. Took it apart, put it together several times by every member of my family, and nobody could get it to work. So I finally gave up on it. And then I found, I still had the tapes, of course, and then I finally found that one at a thrift store. Okay, let me get this straight, and we'll put this right here. A little label, little word. I think that looks pretty, very vintagey with the kind of retro word there, the label maker. That is definitely a vintage. And this tape is probably actually vintage too, because it was with a Sears label maker that was definitely vintage. So that's another reason to use glue. That it's actually really sticky on the back, but it, you know, I think that it needs glue. I wouldn't want to put it on there and then have it come off. But yeah, I think that's really cute. I didn't want to put anything under it. I just like the words. I wanted to see as much of these words as possible. I just think the words look really pretty around the flower, and just the whole look of this little page was so cool. I had to do something with it. So that is short and sweet for today. I hope you enjoyed making this little journal card with me, and maybe you have some garden pamphlets sitting around, or some file folders you can put together and make some pretty ephemera. So I'll see you all in my next video. Thanks for crafting with me today, and I'll see you next time. Happy crafting.